When discussing the 90s and the 2000s, people tend to talk about the monumental shifts in culture across the world, as well as the economic boom. Technological shifts happen in and out of the home. As stated by Jay Kiat, technology is the fashion of the 90s. It affects everyone and everyone is interested in it, either from fear of being left behind or because they have a real need to use technology. This decade will go down in history as the decade where the age of digital technology fully began to evolve. Interestingly, some of the technology that we discussed in the previous decades began to be replaced by better interactions and new ones. The Walkman was replaced by portable CD players. So, in this video, we are going to explore some of the most important inventions and medical innovation from the 90s and the 2000s. In the 90s, people were exposed to new digital products that we still use today, although more sophisticated. In 1996, the world adopted a new technology for watching videos, the DVD. With the appearance of Google, in 1998, people gained the ability to search almost everything online. A person didn't need to answer the phone and call a friend with just a few short stories, but they could send a text message. From the Nokia phone to Google.com, a lot happened in the 90s, like after years of development in the late 1990s, the Knoll brothers, with the investment from Adobe and the help of their team, Photoshop 1.0 was launched. In 1991, Linus Torvalds originally decided to create a new operation system for his Intel PC, but ended up to create one of the biggest platforms for internet companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter. Although mobile phones first appeared in the 1980s, it was in 1994 that Nokia launched its first mobile phone, the Nokia 1011. The device changed the way phones were viewed. Before the Nokia 1011, mobile phones were bigger and louder, making transport difficult. Also, in 1994, Sony launched the first PlayStation in Japan. The PlayStation soared in popularity and was considered Sony's most important product since the Walkman. In 1996, Nintendo 64 was launched in Japan, becoming the first home console to feature an analog stick as the main controller. The console was a major breakthrough in the gaming industry, allowing users to aim with precision and control like never before. Also in 1996, toy company Tico asked to use the technology to create a laughing doll from Elmo from Sesame Street. Tickle Me Elmo has become one of the most popular children's toys and has been named the most desired toy of the 1996 holiday shopping season. It is now on Time's list of the 100 best toys of all time. The last one I would like to talk about, but not least, is Tamagotchi, as it was part of my childhood. Tamagotchi, the original virtual pet, is a staple childhood food from the 90s, launched in 1996. In a way, the handheld service taught children to be responsible. Previously, we explored the 90s, now we continue our time travels in the 2000s. In 2000, Google AdWords appeared. It's not hard to see the impact AdWords had on online advertising industry, but one thing is for sure: nothing has been the same. Instead of buying an ad for a period of time and paying the fee, advertisers could buy a certain level of performance in terms of click-through, but it was also put to the advertiser to properly construct their ads, with better performing ads. This is a huge business. In 2003, Android was found. Most people think of the Android operation system as something Google developed, but that's not the whole story. Android was found as a company initially intended to build an operation system from digital cameras. At one point, the company was so close to closing down it couldn't pay its rent. But that was then. This is now. Today, Android is the most successful, in terms of numbers of users, operation system in history. It is unfortunately fragmented almost beyond recognition and suffers from many security concerns and forks. Even so, Android is dominant numerically and will likely remain so for years. In 2004, Facebook was founded. In addition to Facebook, the company Mark Zuckerberg, founded in 2004 as the Facebook, owns also the Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger. Together, this group dominates messaging and social media to a degree never before seen. Not only has Facebook transformed how people connect and communicate, it's also created its own vast walled garden, filled with details about nearly every human on the planet. How it uses that data, how it manipulates that data, and how it protects that data will be a problem for all of us for years to come. In 2005, it was very difficult and expensive to distribute videos. All that changed when YouTube made internet video free for everyone. According to Google, who owns YouTube, more 18 to 49 years old watch YouTube video on mobile than any broadcast network. Oh, the iPhone. Everyone remembers the iPhone. It was rumored and anticipated for years, but when Steve Jobs finally held it up to show it, it still excited everyone's expectation. The thing was, it wasn't just an iPhone that blew the PC, music, landlines, and cell phone markets apart. It was the apps, which took another year. Once Apple introduced the App Store and created a way for users to get at apps to a few bucks and the touch of a button, the last bit of friction between digital technology and digital technology use was gone, and the world was changed forever. All of this was the science field. Right now, in the medical field, we have some innovations also in the 90s. In 1992 was created a smart pill, like a tiny camera on a pill, that were used in gastrointestinal diagnostic procedures. In 1994, radiosurgery appears for epilepsy and malignant tumors. In 1996, Dolly the sheep was cloned. Dolly was part of a series of experiments at the Roslin Institute that were trying to build up a better method for producing genetically modified livestock. Scientists at Roslin also wanted to learn more about how cells change during development and whether a specialized cell, such as a skin or brain cell, could be used to make a whole new animal. Dolly was cloned from a cell taken from the mammary gland of a 6-year-old sheep and the next cell taken from another sheep. She was born on 5 July 1996. Dolly's white face was one of the first signs that she was a clone, because if she was genetically related to her surrogate mother, she would have had a black face. Because of Dolly's DNA came from a mammary gland cell, she was named after the country singer Dolly Parton. Viagra was created in 1998. The Viagra pill works to increase blood flow to assist men during intercourse. It addressed to a common condition which affects as many as 1/2 of all men over the age of 40. Many men who have been diagnosed with hypertension or diabetes have been greatly aided by this invention, which prior to 1998 was not available. Those were some of the 90s innovations on medicine. Now I'm going to present some of the 2000s. In 2001, the first telesurgery was performed by Jacques Maresco. Telesurgery used wireless networking and robotic technology to allow surgeons to operate on patients who are distantly located. In 2003, Carlo Urbani, a doctor from Doctors Without Borders, alerted the World Health Organization to the threat of the SARS virus, triggering the most effective response to an epidemic in history. Urbani succumbs to the disease himself in less than a month. In 2005, Jean-Michel de Bernard performs the first partial face transplant. Just in 2008, Laurent Lantieri performed the first full face transplant. In 2006, the first HPV vaccine was approved. Please read this slide to understand better what is HPV and why it is important to stop it. Lastly, in 2007, the visual prosthetic bionic eye Argus 2 was created, and we use it till now. Think about it. If we were born earlier, none of these devices or medications would have been able for us. Medicine improves over time due to ongoing basic science research by scientists, trial and error clinical trials by doctors where research findings are applied to possible treatments and through investments of non-profit government funds and for-profit private capital in both basic science, research, long-term population studies, and clinical trials. Sophia, I really enjoyed it to do this work because I think our past is something important because it's where we came from. So I understand another thing doing this job, this work. It was the intellectual and physical development of the human being is something that we have to preserve and never forget. And I think with this work, we understand better this concept. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this pandemic will end quickly so we can get together again. Thank you. Bye.